This has been probably the biggest disgrace in football that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Today was the first day of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. We saw Argentina play Morocco today. Biggest controversial game that we've ever seen. I mean, there's just so much going on for this game. I mean, a lot of different points that I want to talk about. People saying the game being rigged, the referee adding 15, 16 minutes of added time, the pitch invaders. There's just so many things that we have to discuss. So let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about is about the game being rigged. Now, people always are going to say that the game is rigged for Argentina, that Argentina were always going to win, that they want Argentina to win. They want to put them in the final. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Like, there's no other way to put it. There's no way that in the Olympic Games, the U23s for Argentina is being favored by the committee. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what benefit does that bring anybody financially? Like, nothing. It doesn't bring nothing to the table. And what proves my point even more that the game isn't rigged is that we've witnessed 100+ minutes of football. We saw a Moroccan team that was extremely good. They played a lot better than Argentina, especially in the first half. Argentina picked it up a little bit in the second half, but I don't think it was going to be enough. And the referee added 15, 16 minutes to the game, which I'm assuming that's what he thought was reasonable, but I don't know what in his brain made him think that way. But it's not rigged, and I'm going to explain to you why it's not rigged. Why so many added minutes in the Argentina versus Morocco match? The explanation lies in the new VAR test that is being implemented in the tournament. The test uses a timer to count time lost due to interruptions in the game with the aim to ensuring a greater net playing time. And according to journalist Balasone, in the match where Argentina faced Morocco, the net time was only 54 minutes and 27 seconds, well below that was desired by the organizers and FIFA. Hence the number of minutes added by the Swedish referee. So yeah, that explains it, right? But there was just so many interruptions in the match. 88 according to Opta, right? It's very difficult to keep the clock accurate. 15 minutes, 16 minutes, to be fair, is an insanely large amount. But you can't just go straight to it being rigged, to it being corruption. It just doesn't make any sense. And the goal ended up just not being allowed anyway. So you can't call it corruption because they said that the goal was disallowed. They literally disallowed the goal. And people would have known that earlier if they didn't invade the pitch 7 times. There was a total of 7 pitch invaders responding to the equalizing goal in the 106th minute. And if people would have just stayed in their seat and let VAR do its thing, the referee would have disallowed the goal. Morocco would have won 2-1, and then everyone would have went home, and we would have none of us would be talking right now. Nobody would be discussing now, like, how did 7 pitch invaders get onto the field? That is a safety issue. Security, I don't know what security was doing to allow that. They were throwing firecrackers at the Argentinian players after the game. The game was suspended for 2 hours. Everybody was told to leave the stadium. The players went back to the locker rooms, and they had to sit there with no info for an hour and 45 minutes just waiting. And they thought the game was over. Both teams thought the game was over. Hakimi apparently didn't want to play. Otamendi, and nobody wanted to play. Nobody wanted to play. They thought the game was over because they said it was suspended. So it's a lack of communication from the officials. It's a lack of security. It's just a lack of discipline from everybody. It's the lack of knowledge from people as well. People who don't understand the game, don't understand how the rules work. If people really understood how the rules work, they would have sit and waited until the VAR would have done its thing, because people know that VAR is checked for every single goal, and they would have showed it on screen. It would have said VAR checking for offside. They would have checked. They would have disallowed the goal, and everybody would have went home. But that didn't happen because people just jumped straight into conclusions. They invaded the pitch 7 times. They started throwing firecrackers at the Argentinian players. Why? What did the Argentinian players do for them to get blown up by these firecrackers? People are delusional. People are just unknowledgeable. Like, they just don't know. They don't know the rules. They don't know how things work. They just see a goal being scored, and then their first thought is to just invade the field and throw fireworks at players. Their first thought is violence instead of just waiting to see what the actual decision is going to be. They just choose violence. And it's the only sport like anywhere, and even especially in the Olympics, where that something like that would happen. Hopefully, this is the only controversial thing that happens. But if you've watched soccer long enough, if you watch football long enough, this is probably not going to be the only controversial thing that happens. Whether it's a safety thing, whether it's a time management thing, whether it's just a referee performance, whether that's a fan situation, it's not going to be the only controversial thing. I think the Olympics are probably going to lock it down a little bit more, especially when it comes to security. But this just shouldn't be happening. Yeah, the referee shouldn't have added 15 minutes, but that doesn't mean you should invade the field and start throwing stuff and attacking the Argentinian players. Doesn't make any sense. I'm very, very happy that Morocco won. They've played so well, and I've said it earlier in the video. They've played really well, better than Argentina, and they deserve to go. They deserve to win. Excuse me. And like I said, I could care less that Argentina lost. I could care less that they win the Olympic gold medal. Like, I honestly could care less. So this is not me defending Argentina. This is just me talking about the disgrace of an organization in terms of everything. So, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.